this thing in 2 months. Try and jam it down the throats of your members.
No congressional budget.
It doesn't work the first time around.
Right.
Because it covers pre-existing conditions.
But it has to cover pre-existing conditions.
And
it's nuts to get rid of that.
You should buy tornado insurance.
Sorry?
You should buy tornado insurance.
I don't understand the equivalency.
So why wouldn't you want to buy tornado insurance?
I don't live in an area that has a lot of tornadoes.
You don't need it, right?
Yeah.
So why should I be forced to pay for example, maternity insurance or birth control as part of my insurance package?
Because you pay into an insurance package. Because
No.
Because insurance companies have to cover people that have different unique positions. It's the point of an insurance company to cover people with different conditions.
You shouldn't have to pay for benefits that you're not using. Okay? That's what I'm saying. And
I don't agree with that.
Of course not. But here's
because I think we live in a society where people can be accountable to one another. And I think that it helps me when somebody else is able to take off of work and not be barely productive so they can raise their child. Because I think that them paying more attention to their child will help society better in the long run.
And that's great.
And
you're going to win this argument every time if we talk about this based on moral principles instead of the actual.
But I don't see healthcare in particular is one of those issues that not only, again, do people need healthcare, it is inherently both an economic and social policy. Because it matters.
We're talking about the AHCA. So we're going through the history. So then we put on this Meadows Amendment, right, which basically lets states apply for a waiver for these pre-existing conditions. And it passes with 217 votes. I don't understand how the Republican Party thinks it can get this thing through the Senate and sign into law and make it effective. I don't understand why we wouldn't just keep our promise and go for something that actually solved these problems. Because this bill doesn't reduce premiums.
Because honestly, I don't think that the policies you want to institute are actually going to help. But that's an entirely different discussion. I think that effectively, not only did they promise something they weren't going to be able to deliver, people are still expecting it, so they have to do it fast, right? And then additionally, I think another reason they want to do it fast is because I do think that the popularity of Obamacare is stabilizing. And I think that if you have it for too long, eventually the situation is going to deteriorate to a point where people are going to expect full-on state-sponsored healthcare, which is obviously what I would like, or it's going to succeed to a point where people don't want to get rid of the program. So I think that the AHCA was a way in which Republicans could do this, but they weren't prepared, as you said, to do this.
Which, is a failure. But, you wonder why people don't trust politicians, right?
I mean, this is the reason.
When you go around and say, I'm going to do this thing for 7 years.
Right.
And then when it actually comes time to do it, you say, give me the House, and I'll do it, 2010. Give me the Senate, and I'll do it, 2014. Give me the White House and I'll do it, 2016.
I think I said this exact same thing to you last year.
2017. Give me more time. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
What? I think a good way to end this is talking about how we should bring people together. And, you've been a friend of mine since freshman year. We disagree on everything.
Yeah.
And I think that has made itself pretty clear in this video. But there is an inherent goodness in the American character, and there is an inherent virtue in sitting down with somebody you disagree with.
Yeah.
And, getting a drink with them, getting dinner with them, putting politics aside and seeing people as people. And I think that has been lost in today's polarized culture. And it's a shame.
I agree.
And we need to be more open with people. And we need to be more open in discussing differences in a respectful manner, as we've demonstrated here today.
I agree. I think it's incredibly hard for people to do that nowadays. I think that there are so many impediments in terms of how toxic the current political culture is. I think that society should be willing to accept new views to a point, obviously. I don't think that bigotry in any form, I think we can agree, is completely unacceptable. But I think it's okay to be able to sit down with somebody and talk about these things meaningfully. I think it humanizes a lot of different opinions. And a lot of me wonders if, the rise of hate crimes that we saw after the election was because it's ironic that in such a time where we have the ability to communicate with one another, where we can talk together, where we can do something like this,
And I mean,
there's so much that we separate ourselves.
Not only the rise of hate crimes, I mean the rise of just full-on rioting and civil unrest and not listening to people has been a problem too. It's distressing that people can't sit down and talk to each other. It's distressing that there is this blind rage in our system, but we have to fix it. And I think doing more of this
Yeah,
goes a long way in getting there.
I agree.